Hello my dirty little dumplings and welcome back to Brian Abroad. In today's video, I am here in Salem, Massachusetts. Now, for people who like Halloween like me, of course Salem is kind of a mecca. It's a place that's full of all kinds of spooky shops and monster museums and haunted houses. And of course, it's a place that's known for its rich history with witchcraft. Whether you are a practicing witch or you just want to get educated about modern day Wicca, Salem is a great place to go to learn something or to stock up on ingredients for your own spells and ceremonies. Right now, it's definitely like the very off season for Salem, so there's not a whole lot to do. A lot of stuff closes down. There's no haunted houses. There's no like extra special spooky stuff going on. But because I live in China, it's not every day that I get to be in Salem. So I figured why not take out my camera and do a little bit of filming. I love Hocus Pocus, and there's plenty of filming locations here that I could show you guys as well. To be honest, the main point of my visit is to check out this exhibit about bats at one of the museums here. So let's go. So right off of Essex Street, which is kind of like the main action-packed area where all the witchcraft stores and magic shops and monster museums are, there is one of the filming locations from Hocus Pocus. This is the Salem Town Hall, and in Hocus Pocus, this is where Max and Danny's parents are dancing. They didn't use the inside for the dance, but they did use this as an exterior shot, and they showed Max walking up the stairs to one of these windows here. I think it was this window right here, actually. You can see him go in the front door, and then he walks up this staircase here. So over here there's something called the Witch Trial Memorial, where they have a memorial dedicated to the victims of the Salem witch trials. When you first walk up to the memorial, there's some quotes here on the ground from the victims of the witch trials. So as you walk down this path, each of these little stone benches has a different name dedicated to one of the victims. A lot of the times you can see people will leave like coins or flowers, or in this case shells apparently. This is like the third one that I've seen that has shells on it. People will come and kind of leave their little tribute behind to the victims. Giles Corey was probably one of the more famous victims because, unlike the other victims who were hanged, Giles Corey was actually pressed to death by stones. The little cemetery that's right on the other side of this memorial is called the Charter Street Cemetery, or Salem's Old Burying Point, which was built in the 1600s, I think 1637. There are some notable figures buried here. The most notable is probably Judge Hathorne, who is one of the judges who presided over the Salem witch trials. I'm gonna try to find his grave today so I can show you what it looks like. A lot of the graves, they're not really legible anymore. Most of them have kind of worn away, but there is a map over here, so I'm gonna see if I can find his grave today. Although some of the stones definitely are worn away with time, the ones that either have remained intact or have been preserved in some way are so beautiful. They're just so cool. So this is it. This is actually the grave of John Hawthorne. Apparently, he was pretty cutthroat, and doing some research before I came here, and just based on what I know from growing up in New England, basically his approach was guilty until proven innocent. So he was very in favor of condemning those who he believed might be guilty of witchcraft. I've always been kind of obsessed with this cemetery. I don't know, it's really peaceful and beautiful and old. and it just kind of, I don't know, makes you feel not so bad about some of the less favorable things that are awaiting us at the end of our lives. All right, so we've arrived at the Peabody Essex Museum. It's actually one of my favorite museums in Massachusetts. I feel like I don't really hear people talking about it enough. There's a heavy emphasis on Asian art and culture here. They actually have a preserved Chinese house called the Yin Yu Tang House, which is also really cool. Not sure if I'll have time for that today, but today we are here to see bats. This is cool, you can hear different bat sounds. What? This is literally a recording of a man. Okay. Wait, this is a joke? Okay, apparently brown bats are robots. I'm still worried about this though. Oh, bat cam. It's so cute. We're having a disco. We're going in. Alright, you guys, so I just got out of the Peabody Essex Museum. The bat exhibit was cool. It, of course, tackled a lot of misconceptions that people have about bats. There's this little true or false section here, and I feel like just quickly glancing at the questions, most of them seem to be false to me. Let's find out. They're flying rats. That's false. They're mostly related to, like, foxes, aren't they? Oh, okay. Bats are annoying pests. No, we need them. Bats do not want to drink your blood. I don't think they want my blood. Okay, we're pretty safe here then. Oh, I live in China though. Bats will fly into your hair, maybe by accident. Yeah, you're just gross and full of bugs, otherwise they'd leave you alone. Bats will attack you and give you rabies. They don't carry rabies, do they? Okay. Bats assume this is definitely true. It talked about how humans and other species are really dependent on them because they are responsible for helping like hundreds of different plant species to survive. It talked all about how essentially the Bible kind of started with the misconception that they're like dirty or evil or wicked in some ways, which led to interpretations of the devil with bat wings. And then, of course, when Dracula was written in the 1800s, we get the idea of bats being connected to vampires, and then how that kind of spread into pop culture at large with things like Batman and the Munsters and Count Chocula cereal and the Count from Sesame Street. It was kind of interesting how like everything interconnected and one thing kind of related to another, and then you kind of like make those connections. I wasn't planning to explore like the whole museum at large because I've been there many times. I did grow up in this area, but I did want to make sure that I checked out a couple of favorites. I had to make sure that I saw this room because it's one of my favorites here. I wasn't gonna go up here, but I see something about Hocus Pocus. And then I actually did end up going into the Yin Yu Tang house. First of all, it's included in admission, which is really cool. And second of all, there was a time period coming up pretty close to when I got there. I only had to wait like an hour. So I did go and walk around. The man was just telling me that a couple years ago they had a birthday party for the house. It was the 20th anniversary, I think he said, and the original family who actually grew up in the house came and they refused to use the modern stairs that were built or the elevator, and instead they opted to take the original stairs up to the second floor, which I thought was pretty cool. He just randomly told me, one of the curators. They give you an audio guide for free as well, so as you're walking around you can punch in the different numbers for the different rooms that you're entering, and it will tell you all about how the bedroom that you're walking into is set up and why that furniture is there, and how the bedroom was like a woman's place and she spent so much time there each day after cooking and cleaning and taking care of the family. And they talked all about the family altar, and it's just a very, very cool place. I know that I live in China and I can see this kind of stuff if I so choose, but it will never not amaze me. Right now I'm walking around Salem Commons, which is also another filming location from Hocus Pocus. This is where Max and Allison go after they get out of the school. He gives her the phone number in class, they go out to the Commons, and then she says trick or treat and basically hands him his own phone number back. And I actually think that I might be in front of the school right now too. So up there it says the Phillips School. It definitely had a different name in the movie, like John Bailey School or Jacob Bailey High School or something like that. Let me double check. Okay, so in the movie it's called the Jacob Bailey High School, which I think was basically written in that space right over there where there's no sign. And then up here you can actually see that it's called the Phillips School. So the kids get out of school and come over here. You can see a lot of these different fence spokes in a bunch of the shots of the movie. And then they come over here into Salem Commons. It's basically just a nice area to walk around in. It's pretty open. There's like a little playground over here for kids. And then during the haunted happenings activities that go on here in October, they do a whole market here where they have all kinds of tables set up where they sell food and merchandise and all kinds of Salem related goodies. I want to take you guys to Max Dennison's house. It's on Ocean Avenue. It's like kind of far from here though, and I feel like I'm like a little bit racing against the sunset here. I'm gonna try to head over there and just check it out, be respectful. Obviously it's a real house that people still live in to this day who are not Max Dennison. So I'm gonna go there and I'll show you guys what it looks like. All right, so I'm here on Ocean Avenue. It's actually like really beautiful and really peaceful. It's right by the water. There were some ducks over here a minute ago, but I was on the phone with my sister, so they have flown the coop. Oh no, wait, they're there. Hi, ducks. Yeah, so right over here is Max Dennison's house. I think it looks a little bit different. Like maybe in the movie it was a little bit on the bluer purpley side and now it's definitely white. I could be wrong about that, but yeah, this is where Max and Danny lived. Also, you just know that it's like absolute chaos over here in October. The house across the street has these signs on their rock wall that tell people like, please don't climb here and sit here trying to get a view of the Hocus Pocus house, basically. And they are all over the place. There's also another attraction over here called the Salem Pioneer Village. It's supposed to be set up like a pioneer village, like, you know, when the Puritans came or when Salem was first settled, and these are the types of houses that were being built. And it was also actually used in the very beginning part of Hocus Pocus, where Emily Binks is kidnapped by the witches and Thackeray tries to go find her. Every time I've ever tried to go to the Pioneer Village, it's always closed. I'm gonna try to just like head down there and take like a little peek over the fence and just see what I can see. I'll catch up with you guys there. So just walking into this little park here, I can actually see the Pioneer Village right over there. I know there's no way for us to get inside because it's not going to be open, but you can actually kind of see like a pretty good amount without even getting inside it. This looks super cool and witchy. It's giving me 100% Hocus Pocus vibes. This is so cool. I didn't realize that you could even get this close. I mean, I know it's kind of hard to see because there's like cattails everywhere, but that's so cool. I'm hearing a lot of animal activity over here, so hopefully it's not something that's gonna kill me, but I'm gonna just take a quick peek over the fence here and see what I can see. I'm gonna see if walking around over here by the water will let me see the other side of it a little bit better. So it's only $6 to get in here on a day that it's actually open. That's not bad. Look at that. I feel like this is about to be the start of one of those like found footage movies because it's just so empty over here. I mean, it would be the ideal time for someone to murder me, to be honest. That's incredible. I mean, it's a shame that it's not open, of course, but it's still really cool. I mean, it's not very big. By sticking my camera over the phone, wow. By sticking my camera over the fence, I can basically see the whole thing. Obviously not as cool as going inside, but I could still see like a pretty good amount. There is one more kind of nearby filming location that's right in Salem. It's the Ropes Mansion, which was used as Allison's house. So I think I'm gonna head back in that direction and show you guys what that looks like. And I'll catch up with you guys there. All right, so right down at the end of this street is the Ropes Mansion. And in Hocus Pocus, this was used for Allison's house. The inside of the house wasn't used. Whatever they used for the inside of the house, I actually think it's the same house from like Scream 2. But after Max and Danny get in their fight and then they look up and see this amazingly done up house, they go inside and find Allison inside. And yeah, here it is. So this is actually a historic landmark here and it's owned by the Peabody Essex Museum where I was earlier. They do tours of the inside of the house, but I've never actually been on the inside before. To the right, there's this little entrance here that leads to the Ropes Mansion garden. And you don't need anything to come in here. You can come in here whenever you want. You don't need a ticket or a tour or something like that. Of course, the garden doesn't look like much right now because it's the dead of winter, but in the spring and fall and summer, it looks really cool. There's plants all over the place. But there's something interesting here as pertains to Hocus Pocus. So there's this little plaque over here that introduces the house and the garden and the original planter, John Robinson. But then it also talks about the three sisters who inherited the house in the 1800s. And those sisters are named Sarah, Mary, and not Winifred, but Eliza. But it's just interesting because it's 2 out of 3 of the names of the Sanderson sisters. And here is a view of the back of the house from the garden, which looks equally as cool as the front. I noticed that there's an open door over here and I'm feeling a bit adventurous. So I'm gonna see where it leads. This might be where I get arrested for trespassing, though, I'm not sure. Oh, a greenhouse. The other day I actually came here with my friend to see the bat exhibit, but because it is the off season, literally everything was closed when we were here. All the stores were closed, all the restaurants were closed, even the museum was closed, which I was like, well, that will be open, of course, it's a museum. No, Brian, it's not, because it's 8 degrees outside and people only want to come here in September and October. So because it is still light out and because it's the weekend right now, I do want to see if there are any shops open. There's a store here. I forget the name, but it's coming up really, really soon. But they have everything in there. And if I'm going to find any sort of like random old Halloween decorations or something like that, that's where it's gonna be. It's literally right down the street. So if you pass the Ropes Mansion on your left and you keep heading down, it's called Jerry's Department Store. I'm gonna see if they're open. I really need to check out this place someday. It's called the Witch House. I've never been inside. I actually don't even care what's in there. I just want to go in there because it looks so cool from the outside. Who doesn't want like a jet black house? That's amazing. I'm curious to see what it says on the door over here. The Witch House is a 17th century historic house museum that was the home of the witchcraft trials judge Jonathan Corwin. We are open Thursday through Sunday from 12 to 4. Last entry into the museum is at 3:45. Ah, man, I just missed it. Unfortunately, they are closed, but you can just see like all of the cool random stuff. They have blow molds. Those things are hard to find. They just have so much stuff in there. It's a really cool store. Too bad they're closed. I can't show you more.
Do you you like green eggs and ham?
I do not like them, Sam, I am.
So I was trying to get in here the other day, but it was also closed, so I'm gonna go in here and take a look. I heard it looks pretty awesome inside. God, there's glitter and blood. Oh my God, that smells amazing. Is it pumpkin spice? My basic bitch heart is happy. I don't know how to explain this, but this candle like literally smells like Halloween night. All the orange and black and purple is giving me like a major serotonin boost. Ah, this Sleepy Hollow shirt's pretty rad, I'm not gonna lie. These pins are really awesome. Anything like haunted house related is for me. Old school Halloween. Love that. Oingo boingo greeting cards. I feel like I might buy this and just frame it. Oh my God, I don't know how I missed this little guy. Oh, they're so cute. They have the t-shirt that matches the inside of the store. I don't know if it's like a rule that when you turn like 30 something, you just become like a loser who loves graphic tees. But hi, I'm there. I am digging all of these Salem shirts, I have to say. Oh man, they have a coffee shop in here. I think I was just the last customer of the day. All right, so not only do they have a store and a coffee shop, but they also have a haunted house. And because it's the off season, there's no actors, but they're still selling tickets to the haunt as a walkthrough. And they told me I can go in, I can explore, take pictures, take videos, do whatever I want. And because I used to be a haunted house actor and I will do anything to scratch that itch, here I am in the haunted house. You guys, I'm absolutely blown away. That haunt, incredible. I went to all the haunts here when I was a kid. They weren't good, but this is on another level. Also, I did end up buying that Michael Myers candle with the butcher knife inside of it, and I did buy the Oingo Boingo greeting card, which I plan to frame, and I also got that t-shirt with the witch on it, which I thought was really cool. So definitely check that place out if you're here in Salem. Hex is probably one of the more famous witchcraft stores. I think I'm gonna just go in and take a quick look. I think this place just opened. It's called Black Cat Curiosity Shop. Outside they're playing the Bewitched theme, which reminds me that right over here on the corner is the Bewitched statue. So let's go take a look really quick. I do think her face gives a little bit of Reagan from The Exorcist, but yeah, here's Samantha from Bewitched. All right, but now I want to go in here and check this place out because when I was here the other day, they were not open and now they are. So let's see what's inside. So that store was interesting. It was kind of like part museum, part store. They had all kinds of stuff from like movies and TV shows, and they had like replicas of the book from Hocus Pocus and the Necronomicon. But like right after I walked in and they welcomed me, I started to look around and they were like, okay, we're closing, goodbye. So I really didn't get to like film or explore very much, but it's pretty standard Salem fare. There's a lot of stores like that here. So if you're interested, you can check them out the next time you're here. Since it's getting late and I'm supposed to be leaving America tomorrow, and I haven't packed a single thing and instead just keep buying even more stuff, I'm gonna call it a wrap on my Salem adventure. I'm aware that this was definitely not like an all-encompassing journey of Salem or even a trip that made any sense at all, but you know, when you're in America for just a couple days, you do what you can, even if it's nowhere near spooky season. If you like this video and you'd like to see more videos like this one here on my channel, too bad, because I live in China. But if you want to follow me anyway, please remember to click that thumbs up. Wow. Hit the subscribe button and ring the bell so that you get notified when I upload a new video here on this channel. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.